Well, fair to say your breakout performance was at Woodstock.
Yes, absolutely.
Transport us back to that time in Woodstock. Tell us what happened and what you were feeling at the time.
When we flew in this helicopter, this Army helicopter, green helicopter, that the Army people were using because everything else was a disaster area. There was no way to get in there. The freeways were all, blocked. And then I saw this living organism, like an ocean of people, hair and colors, and I was like, whoa, look at it, and you could hear, For me, it felt like if you were with Jesus when he was feeding people with bread and fish, and it was a congregation of a bunch of people who felt that we didn't know it, but we felt that we had the power by being united to stop Vietnam, to protest in universities, to, along with the Black Panthers or Dolores Huerta or Cesar Chavez, we could change the system, the songs that were like support system, like as Bob Dylan used to say, notes are more important than bullets. All these songs create this, yes, we can.
And, of course, it was common to express that belief through drugs, which were not at all hard to find at Woodstock. Santana recalled running into the Grateful Dead's Jerry Garcia shortly after choppering in. Thinking that he had at least 7 hours to kill before he went on stage, Santana said he accepted Garcia's offer to do a little mind altering. But in the chaos of the concert's ever-shifting schedule, due to traffic jams and rainy weather, Santana soon learned he would be performing much earlier than he expected.
I took it, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I came on, bam, there's a face saying, you need to go on now. Otherwise, you're not going to play. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Everything becomes really like colors, amoeba, everything is like, oh, dang. And then I see the crowd. And the band is looking at me like, man, don't. So I go on stage. I don't even know how I walked. And next thing I know, we're playing this set. And I think I'm going by what Shirley MacLaine calls muscle memory. But when we got to Soul Sacrifice, I noticed that the neck of my guitar was like an electric snake. It wouldn't stand still, I was like, so I'm making some seriously ugly faces anyway to try to keep it from slithering so much,
What was the stuff? You're talking about marijuana, you're talking about cocaine, you're talking about heroin?
No cocaine, never, or heroin, never. It was probably psilocybin, which is another word for mescaline or peyote or ayahuasca.
So you hit it big, very big after Woodstock. The
Yes.
world opened up to you. What did that do to you as a person? Did you get deep into liquor? Did you get deep into drugs?
I got deeper into depression. The more money we made and the more number ones we had on the radio or in the charts, I thought I was losing my mind. I was becoming more and more depressed. After a while, the adulation that the world gives you can become very, very heavy on you. All of a sudden, like you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be that, and I'm like, man, I just want to practice and make the music genuine, honest, sincere, true, for real, and authentic. Make it true,
How would you describe your music?
My music is delicious, anytime. My music is sacred and sexy, like the Doors. They're sacred and sexy, the Doors.
Well, fair to describe it as Latin music, quote unquote?
Well, I don't deny being Latin, whatever that is, even though I don't speak nomen seculum seculorum, I don't speak Latin, But they give us this name in Hollywood. Oh, Latin lover, like Cesar Romero and Anthony Quinn and Fernando Lamas and Ricardo Montalban. They must be Latin lovers. Like, okay, you know. I can be all of those and none of those at the same time. What I am is a musician who articulates 99.9 African music. African music. That's what I play. African music. Whether it's blues or cha-cha-cha, mambo, rumba, shuffle, guaracha, bossa nova. You know, I can give you all the names, but all those songs, all those rhythms and everything comes from Africa.
You're very good at collaborating with people, particularly singers.
Yes.
How did you come to that, and how does that work?
You know, I'm very grateful that people trust me. They know that if they invite me, I won't step on their lines. I will not, you know, do anything to disturb their space and place in the song. You know, I know when and where to get in and get out, and what, because I have a big portfolio of melodies and nuances and things that I learned from so many about how to adorn something around a melody to make it gorgeous.
Well, you know, you put so much into your performances. How do you come down from something like last night? I mean, clearly you're all in. You held nothing back. How long does it take you to come down? How do you come down?
It takes like about an hour and a half, and you read. You know, you. Now that I live here in Las Vegas, I jump in the pool. I calm down by also repetition. You know, chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo or the Ave Maria. Repetition creates a form of tranquility for your brain because your brain gets ecstatic a lot. So after an energy like that, you need to go into like gentle arriving instead of like being like a robot hitting everything on the walls. So I chant, I am that I am, excuse me, I am that I am the light, gratitude, 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 gratitude.
You came to this country at what age?
1963, so I was like, 14, 16.
Well, tell me about
50.
Tell me about those first days.
At first it was a drag, you know, because I grew up in Tijuana in strip joints. So to me, I was like, can anything be better than this, you know, for education, you know, in music and also in how women walk, how women seduce, or how women just, you know, there's a reason men say, oh my God, you know. Women have a lot of power. And the way I grew up in Tijuana, the way they walk and everything was very, very conducive to how I articulate sassiness, conviction, you know, shoot, I got this and you need this, you know. And it's almost like they have to be really self-assured that I got something, you know, the way I walk, and don't mess me up, drummer, you know. When I'm walking, you know, a lot of the music from Thelonious Monk is almost like strip joint music. You know, with everything, you know. So to me, being a kid, growing up in a strip joint in Tijuana, I was better than any Cirque du Soleil I ever been to, you know.